Well, 6 o'clock, let's call the meeting. Mrs. Zamora, would you lead us in the pledge and the salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the sea symbol of perfect friendship among the United cultures.
Next item on the agenda is to approve tonight's agenda. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve August 19, 2025 agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda. Any further discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Approval of June 17th section, July.
It should be July 17th.
Approval of July 17th regular board agenda minutes.
I move to approve the July 17th, 2025 regular board meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Any public comment? None? So moving on. Principal's report. Ms. Barella.
So total enrollment for this year is at 142. We have 3 pre-K 3 students, 4 pre-K 4, 74 kids kindergarten through 5th grade, 23 at the middle school, and 38 at the high school. So total K through 12 is 135.
Sorry, what was the high school number?
38.
Thank you, sorry.
FFA and 4-H represented us at the Lincoln County Fair the week of August 5th through the 7th. We had 19 exhibitors, both FFA and 4-H kiddos. We had 4 kids make the sale that night, on Friday night.
That sale was phenomenal.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never been to one.
Yeah.
Over $417,000 for 90 animals,
Mhm.
or 90
Exhibitors that made it
entries,
entries, yeah.
So the cake, the pie,
Wow.
it was unbelievable.
Mhm. Lots of good donors there. Yeah. Today we had a healthy relationship presentation, and this was put on by Palms and Associates. Her name was Angelique Cedillo. And so we broke it up. We sent the information with the kids last Thursday. We broke it up into 4 different groups: kindergarten through 2nd grade, 3rd through 4th grade, middle school, and then high school. We had 73 elementary students attend, 22 middle school students attend, and 27 high school students attend. So, and they were all age appropriate for the kids. I think at the high school and the middle school, her ability to give some, because she worked for the DA's office prior to what she's doing now. So she had some stories to share with the kids about things that were happening in the school that had happened at other schools that she had to deal with as part of the district attorney, and how they were charged. And so I think that made a bigger impact for the middle school and the high school kids.
Just to add to that, this is the person that you talked about a year ago, you talked about 6 months ago, that we've been trying to get scheduled for a while, and so we were able to finally get her here. And I heard several teachers at each grade level give positive feedback about how appropriate it was, even down to our 1st and 2nd graders, how well she did putting it at their level and meeting the different levels. So it was a good positive.
There was even a parent on
presentation.
Facebook complimenting the school for doing that.
And we only had like 11 high school kids opt out, 1 at the middle school and 1 at the elementary. So,
I think it should be done every year.
yes, and she said she could come back every year, so we will put her on for next year.
The PAC, we had the PAC review, we actually had some extra guests at the PAC meeting Wednesday, and she'll give a PAC report in a minute, but Ms. Barello had a great idea. We got the videos right before the PAC meeting, so we didn't show all the videos, but we kind of skimmed through it so parents could give some feedback, because we had the opportunity to remove certain pieces if we felt like
Right.
we needed to, and the PAC was like, no, we need to show it as is, and so it was
All those kids know more than us.
Volleyball, there's about 20 or 21 with managers. There's 9, between 8 and 9 high school kids, junior high kids, I'm sorry, and 12 high school girls out. Their first game is a tournament at Maxwell, and that's this weekend, the 22nd and the 23rd.
Where is Maxwell?
Out in the middle
Way
of
up
nowhere.
north.
Yeah.
Between Las Vegas and Raton.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's far.
It's a tournament
Kind of out
It's a
the middle.
tournament, yes.
for junior high and high school, or just high school?
Just varsity. Football, there are 9 boys out on the football field, as that's what I counted yesterday when I went out there and looked. And their first game is at Elida this Friday. So they
In Elida?
at 7.
Big trip.
Oh, kids.
Both out in the middle of nowhere. And then on Monday, the 25th, Mr. Howard and Mrs. Howard will be taking the high school and the junior high FFA officers to the chapter officer leadership training in Albuquerque.
Nice.
He was only going to take high school kids, but then he thought the junior high kids could benefit from it, so he's taking that group as well. And that's it.
Questions from Ms. Burley?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We on the FFA note, the other day I covered his class. We have a pretty good group of middle school kids working on the opening and closing right now. They were already, first day of school, they were already, well, first day back after the fair. So second week of school, already starting on their opening and closing. So,
Good deal.
I start off with our pack. I need to put it back, now that we're back in play, and I've already fixed it for the next board agenda of the pack. So usually I'll go for the principal, but I'll let Mace give the pack report.
So we had our meeting on, I don't remember what day, I'm sorry, I didn't look at my calendar. August 13th. Like they said, we went over the videos and the POMS presentation that they gave to the kids, and we agreed. We had 2 parents with 1 elementary and 1 middle school, and then 1 parent with 2 high school kids. And everybody did agree that the videos needed to be played all the way through, had good information at the end. And then we had our back to school bash on Thursday. Thank you for cooking. Sorry you guys couldn't be there. We handed out many hamburgers and hot dogs for people to take at the end, but it was well attended. The splash seat was the hot topic. Mr. Patterson got to sit underneath it. We had about, I think there was 10 parents who signed up to get information and hopefully be at the next meeting. So that was good. We had the brochures for the bond there as well that we were handing out to everybody. And we have our next meeting on September 10th, and we will discuss what's next.
So these PAC meetings, so what are your, what is the vibe? I mean, is it positive?
It's very positive. It's very fun. Everybody wants to help create a positive environment for the kids in the school. And we have done the gifted program.
We've done gifted, we've done title programs, we've done.
The extra, the career fair, and then the back to school bash.
Right.
And it's a very positive environment.
Yeah.
And that's what we,
Last year, helped with Teacher Appreciation Week.
oh yeah, Teacher Appreciation Week. So it's been a very positive experience. And that's why I was excited to see as many parents that signed up that they did. And we stressed to them the importance of positivity and moving forward.
When they come forward with a concern, hopefully they have a solution.
So far, it's been very positive.
Good.
So, and once we get more members, then we'll do, president, vice president,
Right,
secretary,
right.
stuff like that. But right now, it's only 3, sometimes 4 parents who go. So And then
We
2
typically
community
have an
members.
agenda, but it's kind of a fluid agenda, probably more relaxed right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, once we get
As
like
we
the
get more
structure
members,
going.
it'll probably become more. formal.
Right.
Yeah. So in the next few months, it'll become more structured.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I just want to add the back to school bash was a blast. In fact, we talked about maybe doing when we get towards the end of the school year, right before we get out of school, doing the schools out for summer.
The end of school
Type
bash.
function like that. And we even joked around since only a few of us decided to get in the booth and get wet. The ones who didn't might put on a skit to the song "School's Out for Summer." So do some fun things and see. But I mean, the kids had a blast, and I know at least when Mr. Howard got in the Duncan booth, also when both of us did it, high school kids who were there and engaging and doing things, but weren't really at the splash booth. The minute we sat down, it was
They ran
like,
faster than they ever ran.
if we ran
before
that
in their lives.
fast in our sporting events, we would be unstoppable. They were moving fast.
Then there were more kids lined up to get splashed than there were to throw the ball
Yes.
at one
Whose
time.
booth was it?
It's just-
Pack bottom. It was part of the, so we wanted a dunk tank, but those are very pricey. So we found, it's just like a little arm and there's a bucket on top and a target off to the side where you throw little air balls and the bucket flips over on the head. And yeah, and then we had,
For those of us that are old, that's a lot better than having to try to climb up on that little bitty seat that don't fit on
It's
anything.
fine now.
So I'm glad y'all went with that option. So
me too. And it's like, it's portable, it's light, it's
Yeah.
not bad at all to carry
Well, it allowed
around.
the kids to get dunked, and I mean, they played in it for hours, rotating who was getting dunked, and each other dunking it. Sometimes the parents were throwing the ball at the kids to get dunked, and so it was.
It was a
And then
fun
they played Jingo over on the side, and
Connect Four.
Connect Four they played for a while. It didn't have quite as big a crowd, but they played it for a while, and so.
And we had a few community members show up too. We didn't have kids in school, and the mayor was there, and it was good. It was really fun.
So on to my update, construction update. They are scheduled to try to replace the burnt out light bulbs next Wednesday, right before the game. They think they can get it all done in one day. And so we've got that scheduled. We need the weather to stay nice that day so they can get up and down in the 80-foot lift, because that the lift was a little pricey to get here. That's why they're trying to get it done in one day. Tomorrow, we have a rather lengthy construction meeting, pretty much from 1 o'clock till 5:30 is when they scheduled it. We'll have our normal meeting, and then we'll go do the walkthrough punch list at the CTEC building. I finally snuck over there yesterday morning before school. Could have been in a week or so. Kind of wanted to wait to see the finished project. They had quite a bit to do to get it ready for the punch list, but when I talked to Bradbury today, they feel like they're gonna have it ready for us to do the punch list, and then they'll have pretty much the rest of this week and next week to correct anything on the punch list, and then we'll take ownership on it September 1st September 2nd when we come back from Labor Day on that aspect. Won't quite have the furniture yet because there's still details we're working out with all the paper trail with the SFA on getting, it's all bid on, everything's done. It's just getting all the documents in order to actually get an order to get here. But there's not a whole lot of classroom furniture that goes into those spaces. Most of it's stoves, things that are part of the kitchen that's already there. So really what's not coming yet is the classroom tables for culinary, which we can move what we have temporarily. If she wants to do that, or start moving in, however she wants to do that. But that's exciting. We should have that. My goal tomorrow is also to have the punch list done on the football field, because right now that still has not been done. And so if you hear from CYS, I always say it wrong, kind of Templeman arm's length, because they want to use the football field for Little League and things like that. And I want to make sure we have our punch list and what the do's and don'ts are on that field
Right.
before we let them start using it, and have a conversation with them, because realistically, as much Greens have real the sides, they could be on the sidelines, not actually out on the field, and still get probably 80% of the practice done, because we have so much sidelines now. Now that there's a true 6-man field, both sidelines are 20 yards deep. And so, so if you hear anything on that, I don't know. I just told us, guys, give me till the end of the week. Hopefully I'll have some response on that. And then making sure they understand the responsibility of the carrier and what things can't be on it and can be on it right now. I've told our kids no Powerades, no things like that. That stays on the track. And when the track gets done, it may not even make it to the track. But they've improved the way they've built those so much. I don't know that all those regs are in place like they used to be. But until we do the punch list, kind of keeping it just to our kids for right now. And like I said, hopefully we'll have some answers to them by the end of the week. The football field track, I think I told y'all, postponed to our last home game. Currently right now, the schedule doesn't change again. Our last home game is October 3rd. So actually looking at the schedule right now, our last home game is September 26th. So in October, they may can start on the track. We'll talk about the football schedule in a minute. The phase one of the main building is still going right on track. It says summer of 2026. They keep telling us March of 2026, and that has not changed. They did have one mistake that was made. It's a pretty big one that could cause delays, but it may allow us to negotiate and get what we originally wanted anyway. And then if we get that, there's no delays because it is a mess up on the provider of that material. It's not Bradbury's, it's not Deckers, it's not the schools, it's the installers, and it's the doors that go into the classroom. The doors that go in the classroom, after they got them installed, they realized we talked very, very hard about making sure the door handle that opens the doors away from the window, so you can't break the window and reach in and open the door. We originally wanted the safety glass that's not quite bulletproof grade, but pretty close to that. PSFA wouldn't participate in that. Well, now the compromise may be to not have to take all those doors back out, to not have to reorder all those, not to do all that. We may get the glass. So they're doing some investigation and discussion on that. Really shouldn't delay us much because they can be doing everything else while they're waiting on those things. But that's our first probably big hiccup that we've had in it. And Bradbury, Decker, and PSFA were on it before I could say anything because they knew how important that discussion was for us. So I think it's all going to work out good. But that is the hiccup of the month on things. But right now, even with that, they still say we're going to be on track. So this may be a little closer to on track. So. We, most of you know, we've hired Coach Baca. She'll be in town, I think, tomorrow, Thursday, to come by and visit us. Waiting on license to transfer because she's coming from another state. As soon as the license are good, hopefully we can start possibly as early as Monday, we hope. Probably we'll have her here if she's got her background checks, whether we can give her the classroom just yet or not. Maybe a question, but excited to have her. We have filled our two other IA positions that we had open because of some of our student needs. We have opened a third one, and we had one person stop by today that's been an IA that's getting her teaching degree that after she visited our school, walked out, took an application. Hopefully we'll bring it back tomorrow. And we've had a couple others show interest today in that position. So that's a position we didn't budget for, but we need because of that needs the school. So students are off to a great start this year. The atmosphere with our students has been phenomenal. I think Ms. Burrell has had to deal with one semi-major incident in the 12 days we've been here. Everything else is, and it was pretty smooth. It was just one of those things. But the kids' demeanors seem better. I mean, our high school kids still, when they first get here in the morning, still aren't awake, but after they wake up, they're engaged, they're smiling, they're having conversations. The atmosphere in the cafeteria. Somebody set out a couple of round tables like we're going to have in our new cafeteria, and they're starting to be used by, one table was used by high school, one table was used by middle school today, and it seems to be a good start of the year, especially with our kids. Back to school bash we already talked about, and Paul's presentation we already talked about. So the one thing I don't have on here, because it came to me just before, a neighboring school district may not be overly happy with us because they asked to use our field for a game that between meeting two teams, and we have no problem with that, except they wanted to do it at 5 o'clock before our 7 o'clock game on our first game and get it out. No, we're going to play on it first. We've told them if they want to come back and use it on Saturday, we may work something out with them. And I said the hard part is we need to know, because getting the stadium clean before the next day could be a challenge. And so the football players, that may be some community service for them to help get ready for the Saturday game if they want to do it. But we did tell them at first, we're doing that. And I hung up from him, and almost immediately we called each other back and said, no, we're playing on the field first.
Right.
I mean, it just, we weren't thinking about the date when he said it. And when he said the date, I said, no, I said future games. After we play the first game there, we might be considered, because those teams would do it for us if we're needing to meet somebody. I think it's Elida and Animus need somewhere midway to meet.
Right, they always
So,
do that.
right. And they used to use our field quite a bit.
Yes, they
And when our
did.
field was in such bad shape,
No.
they quit using it. And of course, now we probably have the prettiest field in the state. So it's, everybody wants to use it. So,
They can just get the lights going.
Any questions for Mr. Patterson? Can we set up the tour of the CT building before the next month's meeting? Like 5:30?
oh, yeah.
Five-
Because we'll own it by then.
5:15, 5:30,
Yeah,
something
we'll own
like
it
that,
by then. So,
so we can all take a look at it.
absolutely.
Okay.
I walking in there yesterday morning, because we've talked so many different colors through all of this. I mean, all of this, I thought picking colors for our house was a challenge. And I felt like we did a good job with Decker of keeping our school colors in there, but keeping some of the colors that keep places calm and all that in there.
Calming.
And I forgot where we put some of the red tile. And yesterday when I walked into the kitchen, the counter where she does her demonstration, the tile pops like the end zones of our football field. I mean, it's like, whoa. And the bathrooms are the same way. And so we didn't do that all over school. Looking at it now, I'm glad we didn't, because it popped when you walked in there. But it's exciting. And I just kind of snuck a peek because they were starting to do things in the rafters, because it's been like a 2 colonies of ants trying to get this thing ready for the punch list for tomorrow. So it was one of those days you definitely should have had a hard hat on there, because they were moving and buzzing around but it's exciting. We can definitely do that. So
Yeah, that'd be nice to see it.
absolutely.
Miss Marie, financials.
Hey, good evening, Board President and members of the board. It's good to see you all. So tonight on the agenda, we just have one bar. It is a increased bar for the universal free lunch. It's created by the state. They just gave us a little extra money. They didn't take it away, so that's good. And that's the only bar that we have tonight on the agenda. And then as far as financials go, you've got your disbursement listing and your PO listing, and both are a little bit extensive because it's the beginning of the year and the end of the year, right? So we got the in and out going on pretty good. And then are there any questions on those disbursements?
Okay.
And then your analytics, of course, it's the beginning of the year. The reason that you're, we have all of our payrolls already encumbered. So that's why it's already up there a little bit. And then, of course, we've got the building going on. So that's where we're at on those. But most everything is normal. I did have Brian move it down to on page 22, and move it down to 141 students. So we're kind of comparing the same. I'm still not sure that that looks exactly right, but that is what it was at the end of the year, and that's where we're at now, I guess, is probably the way it's supposed to read. A little bit less spending in July this year than last year.
Part of that was last July, we brought in Capturing Kids' Hearts, so that was a pretty pretty big deal in July.
And we still have an account with them? I mean,
We do, yes.
Yeah, we're still using them.
It's not near, it's
no, any
it's more
checks,
like
yeah.
10 or
Check
11,
in, yeah.
12,000 this year instead of
Right.
7.
But what about new teachers or new IAs that come in?
So they actually are trying to schedule, and in this, Will and I have to figure out a date that we can afford to have 5 or 6 staff not engaged, but they do come back. They will come back and do some more training. We're trying to schedule one right now. But they also, sometime in September, will do something in Albuquerque, which is it's the kind of the same launch they did with us as a staff, but they can go with other districts and do that. So as soon as we get that, we'll work on setting up. The good news is the teacher we just hired is coming from a school that's done Capturing Kids' Hearts.
Good.
And so we don't have a ton to send right now, but that's what we can do to do that. And like I said, they're trying to set up a time to come, and I'm trying to get them to come on one of our Friday staff developments that we have, but their dates and our dates aren't quite matching up right now, so.
Okay, and then we just go through the cash balances and the revenue report. And as you would expect at the beginning of the year, we haven't used much revenue, so we're just kind of moving through. And expenditures.
Any questions on those?
And the
I only
bank
go
rec.
through Page 29 on my,
Uh-oh,
I don't know what happened.
and then the bank
Page
rec.
19, I mean, that just all went blank. There appears to be a long document. Save time by reading a summary, no?
Your word?
I don't know. It's all blank. Technically challenged. Go ahead.
No, and then there's the bank rec, so everything's good as far as that goes. We,
Look at it earlier.
and then as far as other things go, other items go, we're the auditors are supposed to be on site September 2nd through the 4th. So I'll be here and we'll
We don't
be
know when the entrance.
doing the
Probably
thing.
September 2nd, but I don't have a time yet. So.
Yeah, I'll get that time for you. We'll figure out a schedule with them.
I do know they've already sent their stuff out to a lot of our vendors and people who work with it, because for the first time ever, nearly every person that they've sent their audit questions to has called to make sure that it was legit.
Oh.
It's like, I said, well, we do this every year. They go, yeah, but we just started doing it. So it's been kind of nice to see, because I tend to do that when I get something up, like, I always call the company and say, is this something you really legit? And so, but it's kind of funny, because maybe 1 out of 7 or 8 will call me, and this year it's been almost all of them have called me. So
Yeah, I got him those a couple of weeks ago, so he got them out.
But as a board, we'll have to do those.
Yes,
Conflict of interest.
there is that one that I need you guys
They'll
to,
email to us.
yeah.
and then I just one goes out to staff too.
I believe so. He did send another one over, and I'll verify if I'm supposed to send it or he's going to send it.
Okay.
I'm not sure which way that goes, but I will ask him. But that is the plan, that will be on site the
We have
second
a
through.
different
Yes,
individual showing up, same company. but
same
different.
company.
He was part of it last year. He
Yeah.
was, he wasn't in the lead role. He wasn't in the lead role this time. So,
Carlos.
Yeah.
so Carlos was here last year with,
Farmers.
And she's on maternity leave now, so.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Marie? Thank you.
Thank you.
Approval of the consent agenda items. Items 4, bills paid in the one bar.
I move to approve bills paid and one bar.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Who's seconding? They did.
No, yeah.
Jonathan.
Discussion items, Perryweather, Mr. Patterson.
So Perryweather, and the reason why it's a discussion item, Perryweather is a weather app / weather station that we can purchase for our school. A lot of schools have started doing that. Their claim is that it's real-time weather in our area. So we're not bouncing off the airport at Ruidoso or somewhere else, and that it helps with predictions on what the weather's going to do to help with if we need to cancel school or do delays at school. If major storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, which we've had some issues with some flooding in their surrounding areas anyway. It's got 3 price points. The bottom of the line is $3,000. The top of the line is $3,800. The reason why I put it on as a discussion item is one of the features it has it has an alert system that goes off. It would be mounted on top of one of our schools. I talked about it a little bit with Mr. Hinkle last week and kind of thinking putting it on the CTEC building because it's the building that's going to be finished. And so we wouldn't have to move it once the high school is done. But what's nice about it, I know there's been a couple of years I seem to be arguing with officials on if we need to be in a lightning delay or not. And this will dictate it for us because it'll set off if it's within the range that puts us in a lightning delay, and it'll go off and alert people that, hey, lightning's in there, you need to be quick. The one question that Mr. Hill and I both had, and I got it answered finally today, is you can set a time on it. So after, like, if football games are over by 9 o'clock, I can set the alarm system where at 9 o'clock it doesn't go off anymore. So when we have our lightning storms all night long, like we get in this area, it's not keeping the community up, setting off alarms or alerts. So it literally do it during school. We can set it up for from 7:45 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, and really we could do it till 6 o'clock at night. I don't know that it's not smart to have it till 8 o'clock with literally being around and using, facilities and things like that so that they know to get off. It takes that opportunity for a coach sitting out there having the other day when I helped with practice, I spent more time watching my phone to see if we were at a point where we needed to go in, and that's the storm can sneak up on you that way, and so it does those types of things. It also helps, especially now with the turf field and as hot as it can get. Hasn't been too bad this year, but the heat index, so outside it gives you that. The other functions it has is it connects to our website, and so the community can see it. They can go to our website, pull up the weather at Carrizozo schools. By having this app, we're trying to make a decision if we're going to play at Animas and weather's bad down there. Every place that uses this, we have access to their information to pull up what the weather's doing in Animas. What is it doing in Lawrenceburg between here and Animas? Because that's usually what it gets is we'll call, hey, what's the weather doing there? Oh, it's great here. And then we get out in the middle and in between us, it's horrible. And so it's just another addition of safety to do. Reason I put it up here, I was kind of curious of y'all's opinion of having an alarm on it, still around. The fact that we can set timers on it, I think it's less of an issue to have it going on. Probably before I would fully do it, go at least have a conversation with the mayor about the alarms going
I was
on.
gonna ask you what kind of alarm. Does it go to our
It's-
phone?
It'll set off.
But it's like loud?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it'll go off like it does at a golf course. It won't be like Ruidoso's goes off and flash floods. Ruidoso's got the big horns. It's not that, but it'll set off an alert. So.
Like our 9 o'clock whistle we used to have.
It's the same program as Ruidoso? Do they have?
Ruidoso has purchased it. I don't know if they have it up and running yet, but they've purchased it. They've purchased it. I think Capitan's purchased it. I know some of the teams we play have it, so it's, that's a nice thing about it. And
Basically, they could talk to each other.
Right.
I was just saying, because I know one day they canceled school, or they had to cancel school after they rain that day.
Yeah, they
Didn't even rain a drop, 'cause I was
That's-
up there.
that's a different discussion about here, but
Yeah.
there is a committee that's guiding them on what to do on that. Well, it's not, this app's not part of that, so.
I don't remember, what was the difference between the middle tier and the top tier?
It's 3,000, 3,400, 3,800. And 34, anything, the 3,000 just gives us the app, it doesn't give us the weather station. Like $400, we'll get the weather station because our teachers also could use that in science. We used to have one at Reynosa High School years ago that just did the high school that our kids could use during science classes and do lessons out of it. And I was in a class today where they were talking about storms and high pressure and things like that, and they could have pulled up what's going on right here at our school to have that discussion. And so there's the educational piece to it, not just the safety piece, but it's 3,000 for the base model, which is no weather station. It gives you the app and it pulls from the nearest weather station. Well, we got that. I've got 5 apps that I monitor that all pull off those different stations. This puts me at 1. Then it has the $3,400 gives the weather station, and $3,800 gives the alert. And I do think it goes to the phones too if people sign up for it through our website. I'll double check that to make sure. On the alerts.
And it would be, that's the annual fee too, like is
Yeah,
that set up
it's
and then
Yeah,
annual?
well, it's a good question, because once we have the weather station, I don't know, it probably is the annual, I think it is the annual, because you still are getting access to all that. And it's 20, the other part I didn't add is, if I want to pick up and call and talk to the weatherman, they got weatherman 24/7. So if I'm trying to make a decision, what's going on, and I'm doing that already, because I'm calling DOT, I'm calling surrounding area, I'm doing that already anyway, having, we would hope an accurate weatherman that can
Yeah,
watch what's
right.
going on, so, that's the other thing that played into that situation of the day, so. But anyway, and
I think
so,
it's a good idea myself.
I do.
I know yesterday I was at work in Hondo and it was, my app said no rain, and then I go get a kid, it's flooding. I mean, it's just, the weeds aren't even
I don't know.
Said Lincoln
Wow.
got 2 inches in 35 minutes.
who did?
boring.
Lincoln,
Yesterday,
yeah,
it was bad.
that's a lot of water. Go ahead, sorry.
That's a lot of work. I was just saying, I have to water, so. Ready for facilities use?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that actually, we kind of already discussed, it was supposed to be in my board report, and I didn't get it moved with all the craziness we had getting ready for our back to school bash. There are some things to talk about coming up in the future, because as I worked on the facilities first, we made some updates to part of the facilities use with the tobacco and things like that. As I was uploading it, there also is a fee chart for using things that we need to discuss at some point. Getting the year all started this year, I think it's kind of late to start it for this year, but there were some things there that are definitely worth our discussion moving forward. The main thing was just kind of letting y'all know that the football field right now kind of kept at a distance until, because it's like I told some of the coaches, all right, technically we don't own it yet. We're being allowed to use it. And the later we can wait to own it, the better we are on warranty. And so it's kind of a catch-22, but I do think it's supposed to be part of the punch list tomorrow for the field and of that aspect. So that was the main part of the discussion, was to kind of put you on the loop with some, I made a couple people not very happy right now, but it's like I said, I'm not telling you it's no, I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying we got to do it right. This field's got to last. It's not, it's not something we can just go out and throw seed and water on and hope to patch. I mean, and so, and I understand them getting anxious and want to do it. They actually, I was told today, they could start practicing today, and there's parks for right now to go practice at, and hopefully we'll have an answer by the end of the week. So, but if you get a phone call or conversation, that's the purpose behind it. So.
Okay. Any questions on that? Good. All right, action items, discussion and possible action on the special ed handbook procedures. It was in there. Did you read the 409 pages?
I sure did.
Good.
I read
Any
407.
Oh, got the index.
This is one still overachiever. She want to read the extra.
Any questions? Motion?
I move we approve the handbook of special education procedures for 25-26.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Discussion on the homecoming parade route.
I need to talk for a minute on this one. So
Yes.
we've had, Hondo was who were supposed to play for homecoming October 3rd. They do not have a team
They do
this
not
year.
have a football
They
team.
do not have a team this year. And so in the process of trying to get games scheduled, and then Roy, that we were supposed to play September 12th, but the reason we had them scheduled is they had a team that pulled out of their conference that was going to go independent. Well, the team became a conference team again that they have to play for district. So Roy had to drop us. So it created some moving around in our schedule. And so we moved Floyd from whatever date we had them. I don't even remember now. I think we had them on the 12th. We moved them to October 3rd, but it's an away game because it was scheduled to be. And so our problem is now we have home game the 29th, the 6th, the 12th. And those are our three
September?
probably best dates.
September?
September, yes. So we're fixing to have like back home
Then
games.
that's it,
No, then we have one more on the 26th as of right now.
of what?
September.
Oh,
And actually, since I printed the schedule, we picked up another game. So our schedule may be final now, because I just noticed we got reserve on the 10th added. So that must have happened today. So, because the 10th, what we ended up with was two buys. We had a buy on September 19th and a buy on October 10th. And so, and October 10th was our original buy. And so what it brings up is we don't have any home games in October, which keeps us from meeting the deadlines. We got to meet with the state to do parade and do different things like that. At first, they wanted to do homecoming on September 6th. Our girls are going to a volleyball tournament. Then they wanted to do homecoming on September 12th. Our girls are gone. One set of girls are gone to a volleyball tournament. The junior high's gone to a volleyball tournament. So both sets of girls are gone to the tournament. September 19th is no games. And so it looks like Mount Air is probably most likely going to be our homecoming game, but they're still working those details out.
what day is that?
September 26th. So they're all in September.
Yeah.
So what we did to avoid the DOT, and I think that Coach LeMay's already gotten on the city councils to talk to them at their next meeting, is do a shortened route. We talked about just joining the city's parade, and we still may do that depending on when homecoming falls. But if we were to do our own parade, we would like to get that approved so we can present it to the city. And what we've talked about doing is just doing a short route. I think we did it one other year where we didn't cross 54, where we go down airport, turn,
Right.
come back and down by the courthouse,
Mhm.
on this side of the courthouse, come back to East Street, come back around and do that. Do a shorter parade route this year because it's going to be, it's looking like it's going to be around the 26th that they do homecoming. If I'd have known reserve got added today, I'd have tried to get that finalized for homecoming. But we were hoping we would have gotten a home game on the 10th, and we could have done it then and done it a little later. But that's where we're at right now. So my request is to tentatively approve that route if we do our own parade. I'm kind of pushing them to try to just join the city parade. And,
If it's the 26th, the city one's on the 27th,
right.
just the next day,
Saturday.
on Saturday.
And, right.
But when's the game?
Carrizozo Community
It
Festival.
would be Friday night.
The game would be
The
Friday
game would be
night.
Friday night. But here's 25 years in Ruidoso never had a parade. Their court always went in the Fall Fest parade, the Oktoberfest parade. And so what happened in that is their king and queen, their court went through, but the king and queen had already been crowned, is the big difference on that aspect. But everybody participated in the floats. And so it could go a lot of different directions on that aspect. So, but I know that the kids like their
I just
Right.
think I think we'll be rocking some boats. I think it's very traditional, just that, that's what everybody looks forward to is that homecoming parade. Everybody likes it, the kids ride their bikes. And I just would hate to mess it up.
So the one thing that could mess it up is then you do a parade on Friday and Saturday.
I think you have two different audiences.
Right.
I don't think it'll be a problem,
Okay, well, that's,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah, and
the
Saturday one would be.
targets are different.
Okay. So then what I'm asking for is kind of approve the shorter route
Yeah.
for this year. When we first did this, we had till October. They had everything in process to do everything we need to do. And so lesson learned, we may need to have our plan for homecoming done in,
Why do we need the shorter route?
Huh?
And why do we need the shorter route?
because of having the time to go through the state approval, we have to go
All the
through
DOT.
for, because they have to have a minimum of, I forget how many days it was, but it's, I don't know, we run into that before, because I think there was one other time we had to do this because they would not give us approval to cross 54 because it was too short notice.
Maybe.
I think that was my first year here
Cross 54, what do you mean, by the post office? That
Yeah.
cross?
Close 54.
when we used to
Close
cross.
54.
Am I saying it
Why
right?
right there?
Close.
Yeah,
and
we
then you
close it.
54.
But once you still have to close it anyways, if you come up airport and turn right to go down?
They're talking about the backside of the courthouse.
Going down the backside of the courthouse instead of the front side.
So
of the
before
building.
you pass the
Right.
fire station, you take out
That's
the road,
what-
right,
yeah.
and come down?
I don't like it. I mean, I wish we could get on, but I mean, whatever we can.
Oh, I thought it was the front of the courthouse.
No.
No, in between the courthouse and then
Oh, I
the
don't like that either.
mining building. Old magistrate building. I think people will show up whatever route we take, as long as they know
I
what's
know they
going
will.
on. And it's for the kids. Let the kids have their floats, in my opinion.
Better than not having one.
Maybe somebody can pull some strings.
Got no strings, but I wouldn't think that it'd be that much of an issue if you called them tomorrow and said we're planning on having our parade.
It's over a month.
But you don't have a set date, right?
Right. I mean, and tomorrow I'll have to get somebody else to call. It'll be Thursday before I could call, but
Gotcha.
I know we've ran into, I know we ran into it before and we tried to call and it was just maybe the wrong day to call. I mean, you know how that sometimes.
So who do you
that can
call,
happen.
Chris?
So-
Probably the permit agent in Roswell.
Oh,
And they might would understand our.
Dilemma.
Yeah, so. I don't
Well,
know if
that's
they
the
would
thing,
close it
you
the
know,
25th and the 26th if they're already
That's
closing
not
it for the city though. So. but They might.
I don't know. Well, let's approve the shortened route in case we can't get DOT's approval to go out on 54.
So I move to approve the homecoming parade route, the shortened route, if we can't get DOT approval to do the regular route.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
One negative vote there. Upcoming dates are just our next regular board meeting, September 16th, 6 o'clock. Anything else? Not move, we adjourn.
Second.
Nay.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. See ya. Thank you.
Wow, is that a record
That's the
there?
only bad thing about not having a date. So if you had a date, then it would be a
Right,
good
and
date.
it's easy.
I just want to try.
I did, I'm sorry.
I do like September 26th.